Hello, we are Audrey and Kate, and this is our presentation on the Scottsboro trials.
Scottsboro trials. The Scottsboro trials took place in Scottsboro, Alabama in 1930. 9 African-American boys were riding a train with a group of white men and 2 white women.
The African-American men got in an argument with the other group of white men. They stopped the train and let them all off.
2 white women named Ruby Bates and Victoria Price accused the boys of rape on the train. The boys were immediately thrown in jail and to begin a trial the next day. Therefore, they were known as the Scottsboro boys.
8 of the 9 boys were to be put in the electric chair after a night in jail. The last boy was sentenced to life imprisonment. The next day, the trial began.
The boys had a defense attorney named Samuel Lee Boyce.
He fought for them for 10 to 15 years. He found medical evidence to prove them innocent, but the evidence was not enough.
There were a lot of legal issues in this case. The trial first started out at the Scottsboro Town Court, then it moved to the Alabama State Court, and finally it moved back to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court thought it was just a lowercase trial, so they decided to move it back to Alabama, where it originally started.
In the end, one of the boys fled to Michigan and was not charged. Most of the boys had life imprisonment and in jail. The jury was all white men, so it was very biased.
One connection that we found was the book To Kill a Mockingbird. The author Harper Lee based the trial in her book to the Scottsboro trials.
Another connection is the Martin versus Cinnamon trials.
In this case, a young African-American teenage boy named Trayvon Martin was shot by a white watchman who accused him of being a suspicious person walking in the neighborhood.
George Zimmerman, the white watchman, got out of his car and shot him on the spot.
Kevin Hart is one of the biggest comedian stars in the 21st century. He brings his jokes to life and has performed all over the world.
Hart has also dealt with the hardship and racial comments throughout the years.
Kevin Hart said, "I get that racism exists, but it's not a catalyst for my content. I don't need to talk about race to have material. My style of comedy is more self-deprecating. I think that makes me more relatable. When you deal with the topics, race, white versus black, you're not separating from the pack. You're doing what everyone else is doing."
Kevin Hart is fearless and brave. He stood up for himself and didn't give up.
The Scottsboro trials was the starting point to African American rights in the United States.
The Scottsboro trials was a long, difficult time that affected many people. Thank you for watching our presentation!
Thank you!
Woo!